What's up, guys? This is Hyce, and today in railroading, something really cool happened, and I wanted to share it with you guys, a little bit of a reaction to what happened today. So today, the Union Pacific Big Boy 4014 is running back from Nebraska back towards Cheyenne on its journey home from visiting the College World Series and everything. And on the way today, apparently there was a 10,000-foot-long freight train that got stalled in front of it. I guess it had two diesel locomotives and one of them went offline or something, and that's kind of hearsay, but that was my understanding. And so dispatch asked if the big boy could just get on the rear and give him a little push. And they did. A lot of people have been saying things like, oh, the big boy didn't actually get restored to run, and they don't, like, it's just being pushed around by the diesel and it doesn't actually work. Well, this shuts all those opinions up, because oh my god, this thing sounds so cool. They really put this thing to the test today. And huge props to Ed for helping save the railroad, right? That's my joking thing. Anytime you needed to do something to help the railroad out, we saved the railroad on this day. Huge props to Ed and his team for coming out there and railroading and doing the thing. Yeah, it's the big boy, but it's the big boy doing what it was designed to do. And I do want to say huge thanks to Otto the Rail Fan. This is his footage. I reached out to him on Instagram after seeing the awesome clip that you're gonna see, and asked if I could use it as a reaction video, and he said, go right ahead. So cheers to you, mate. If you want to watch the raw video, I'll link it down in the description below. That way you don't have to listen to me talking on top of it. So I want to start here at this clip. Big Boy's stopped, they've got a red zone, and they're flipping the front coupler open. It's one of those things that you don't even tend to realize that, oh yeah, it reverses around, and this is how you know, okay, it's time to do something cool. We have to spin the knuckle in place and get it hooked up, ready to operate. And after they got the knuckle all set, the train crew brings them in and they knuckle into the rear of the stranded freight train. I can only imagine just what it's like to run a locomotive this large and just gently creep up and make an easy hook when you're 90 feet away from the front coupler, basically. Front end throttle probably helps a little bit compared to a steam dome throttle like I'm used to, but that's still a lot of things to control and a lot of stuff to be aware of while you're trying to make this hook, because he's still got a whole train behind him, passenger cars that he doesn't want to be rough with either. Nice and gentle hook. Draft gear is set up for it. Okay, it's time for showtime. They coupled in, they stretched, and now they're pushing the slack in. And so Big Boy's really, really lightly working, just a light little bit of throttle, pushing all the slack in, because they're going to be running a lot of the train in compression, because they're on the rear. The lead engines of the stuck train are going to be doing what they can, but Big Boy's going to be compressing everything, so he's just gently compressing it. That's why we see so much motion and not much sound. And as they pick up the slack, you start to get that sound a little bit more and more. So right at that end of that clip, Big Boy's starting to really pick up all the slack, really starting to do some work, and then the clip ends. But thankfully, the real star of the video is about to come. We're going to see the train moving at speed through the crossing, and when the Big Boy gets through the crossing, one of the engine sets must hit a low spot or slippery spot in the track or something, and it totally loses it. Check this out. super, super cool. With the big boy, there's only one throttle, so he has to shut all the way off to catch just the front engine slipping, then get back into the power. And he shuts off, gets back just a little bit, and then the front set still hasn't quite caught, so he shuts off, waits, pulls it back open again, and then you just hear those big chuffs as the big boy really starts to pull through it. And it's just like great handling by the guys. The engine picked up, did the thing. And I want to point out that the fireman did a really good job in that clip. When we watch again, he's just got a bunch of draft right now with this cylinder going like crazy and exhausting a bunch. Little bit of black smoke just right as it picks up again, and then it goes right back to clear. That's dynamically firing oil and firing oil right. He didn't have the fire get sucked out by that huge volcanic exhaust. Managed to keep the fire going, had a little bit of black smoke in that moment, but right back to clear. Like, this is a fireman who's really with it. And then, of course, we see the 4015, and many people see the diesel behind it and go, oh, well, the diesel's doing the work. That thing is at idle, or maybe high idle. Maybe it's in notch 1. High idle and notch 1 are about the same RPM, so it's hard to tell if it's really loading or not. We'll have to wait and see exactly what Ed's report is when he returns back from this whole adventure. But that diesel's not doing much, if anything at all, and they've got that thing working. When you look at the big boy coming up through the crossing, you know that they're working the crap out of it because they've got the bar pretty far forward. The power reverse is probably almost all the way forwards. The engine's running really slow, really need that power, and you can see that the radius rod is really low in the expansion links. So it may not be all the way forward, but it's pretty darn close, and they're really getting some serious back pressure out of this thing. There's a couple other clips of this whole adventure that are out there, and the sound is religious, so make sure you go check them out. I just wanted to share this thing with you guys today because holy crap, like, this is Big Boy doing the thing. This is like really railroading and getting the engine to work really hard. So huge props to the UP Steam team for helping to save the railroad and putting on a good show for the rest of us. That thing is a marvelous machine, and one of these days I'll see it in person, darn it. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch y'all next time.